The traditional season opener for the New Zealand Jetsprinting Championships was in Wanganui at the Shelterview Jetsprint track. The great weather meant big crowds, sunburn and great racing. But as it usually does, a difficult rotation, a bit of ring rust caught out a few in round one. Mount Wanganui's Tristan Hines and navigator Matthew Jimmy Fagan had an impressive start to their season, never putting a foot wrong to wind up second for round one with a time of 50.360. For Sam Udick, it was business as usual, the defending champion romping through all the eliminations as number one qualifier and winning as he liked in 47.514, sending all the other Group A competitors a message in the process. If you want the title, you're going to have to come through me. So overall, it is Sam Udick on top in PSP, followed by Loose Unit 2 and 10 Tools. Countless truckloads of dirt and hours of excavations later, what was once a Super 15 quality rugby pitch was now a world-class jet sprinting facility. And just like last year, thousands flocked to be a part of it. This was ASB Bay Park, home of round two of the PSP Suntough Group A New Zealand Championships. Getting back behind the wheel again in Group A after finishing runner-up last year was Paul Gaston. Paul, I was going to say a pretty short-lived retirement, but of course you're here with your other hat on, and that is part of NZJSA. In your opinion, is this the best event we've seen?
Absolutely. What do you think, Phil? It's looking pretty good right now. I think another couple of hours that stadium's going to fill up. There's already quite a few people in there.
And fill up it did. The Bay Park crowd knew what they liked, and that was action, ready to provide it to some of the Group A drivers.
It's that track, you feel like a gladiator coming out when those people fill up that crowd. It's incredible, and it's great for the sport, this track.
Oh, it's a great track. You know, full credit to the committee and Bay Park, and it's a flowing track, and they've learned so much from last year. It's just, thumbs up, brilliant.
With a different rotation from last year, there was plenty to learn as the PSP Suntough Group A drivers took to the water, trying to stay one, in the water, or two, right side up, 10 Tools Racing. They weren't the only ones to taste the grass. Elimination time, and it was easy to see who was going fast, and no real surprise when the fastest man was points leader Sam Udick. Fair to say you stunned them at round one at Wanganui. You stunned them here last year at Bay Park. You're doing Superboat times. You've had a couple of runs out there. How's it been?
It's not too bad. It's different island setup, different rotations, so it's coming to grips with it. You know, we always start the day and the channels are all very narrow, but then they get washed out. So. Yeah, it's just a matter of just getting that confidence up so we can put our foot down, yeah. I was always told, just don't show all your cards all at once. I think it was Rex Bryant that told me that. And just always leave that little bit more until you get to obviously the final stages, and really, because it's either give it nines or really just pack it up on the trailer. So we always leave that little bit more. And hopefully there is that much more at the end of the day.
Okay, mate, they want you on the water. Have a good one.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers. By qualification round 4, the writing was on the wall and on the timesheets. Udick was 1 second faster than his closest rival. So as you see, Sam Udick on top in the 8 from Blake Bryant and Cy Gibbon out of the South Island. Russell Dodds had repaired his boat after Wanganui, and a 49.953 had got them into the 8, but he would need a big improvement out of New Zealand Eagle if he wanted to make the 5. He didn't. It was 49.781, an improvement but not good enough. Second generation driver Rick Burke and mechanic Alf Kill were stuck in the 49s, and it's where they stayed in Firewater. 3NZ and PSP Suntough Group A were Kathy and Bevan Muir and 10 Tools Racing. A 49.792 was improved on to a 48.993, good enough for 5th in the 8 and moving on to the 5. Bevan and Kathy's teammate had gone out in the 12. Looking for a spot in the 5 was Warren Farr and Ben Thomas. A good split time showed they were on track until this. Local combination Tristan Hines and Matt Fagan in Loose Unit 2 had looked fast, if a little ragged, all evening, and it showed on the result sheets. Into the 48 since qualifying run number 3. Matching times with Loose Unit boys was Cy Gibbon in Novus Autoglass. He, along with navigator Paul Thompson, commute from the South Island for each round. Third quickest in the 8 and a spot in the 5, 48.218. Blake Bryant and navigator Katie Hugerbrug had missed round 1 at Wanganui, but were here at round 2. They were the fastest of the rest, and in the top 8, Pip Udick with a 45.5 to his 45.9, and in doing so set themselves up for a great 2 final eliminations. The reigning Bay Park champion, the New Zealand champion and the points leader in PSP Suntough Group A had been beaten for the first time in 2005 by Blake Bryant in the 8. Sam Udick and navigator Glenn Mason would need to find more to peg back the Flying Bryant. So as you see there, Blake Bryant and Kate Hugebrug are on top. A bit of a surprise from the defending champions, Udick and Mason. This is the top 5 for PSP Suntough Group A, and first away it is 3NZ Tank Tools Racing, Bevan and Kathy Muir, the husband and wife combination. Unlike their teammate Baden Gray, who went out early in their second boat, they have been fast and smooth right throughout the evening. Look at the way the boat just sets itself down the centre of the track here. This track started out pretty narrow, but it's now grown out from the blast from the jet units. Group A boats run the 412 cubic inch limit. They all run around about 700 horsepower. 30.830 for the Stinger Tank Tools Racing of Bevan and Kathy Muir. Look at the way the boat just sits flat on the water as it crosses its way. It doesn't really get too uncoordinated as it works its way through the Biolytics turn and down towards the finish line now, looking for a 47 or a 48 second run. 48.832 for Bevan and Kathy Muir. Tank Tools Racing sets the benchmark in the 5. Next to go, this is Tristan Hines and Matthew Fagan, the local lads out of Wanganui. They've got their own cheering section here at Bay Park, and they have been loud and vocal, and every reason to be too, because these guys haven't put a foot wrong. They had a brilliant round 1 in Wanganui, and it's continued here at Bay Park. You're riding on board with Loose Unit 2. Second season for these two competitors. Another combination that got into the sport through watching it on television. Loved what they saw and decided they wanted to have a go. Looking for a split time around about the 30-second mark, 30.314. So they're up on the Muirs, and that is good news for Tristan Hines. I said he looked a little bit ragged. Oh, and he just skipped the side of the island there. He was lucky to save that. That was nearly a huge moment for Tristan Hines, but somehow, good luck or good management, he got it back. 48.366 is the time for Tristan Hines. Saw that there, just clipped the edge of the island, and it could have been oh so different. Simon Gibbon, Paul Thompson out of the South Island, out of Canterbury. Next to go, Novus Autoglass is the boat. Another season under the belt for the South Islanders, and they get the long distance travelling award, commuting each round of the PSP Championship from mid-Canterbury in Novus Autoglass, the jet speed hull, 410 Flowtech Chevy in behind them, putting out around about 680 horsepower. Looking for a split time now. You see the boat just get a little bit untidy as it crossed its wake. 31.048, so they're down on the time of both Hines and the Muirs. Now they're going to have to pull it back. They have been in the 48s, 48.2 in the 8, but this is the 5. Those other times don't mean anything now. Down towards the NZ finish chute they come. Is it going to be a 47-second run? No, 48.495, so they drop down to 3rd in the rankings in Group A. So this is the defending Bay Park champion, the New Zealand champion, and the points leader in PSP Suntough Group A. This is Sam Udick and Glenn Mason. PSP Suntough Clearview is the boat, and they have been fast. They were doing superboat times here in Bay Park last year into the 45s. Well, they've been in the 45s since the top 12. They did a 45.919 in the top 8. What can they do here in the 5? Look for the split times. They need to be around about the 30-second mark, or maybe a whole lot quicker. Maybe a 29-second split for Sam Udick. It is a 29, but only just 29.057 for Udick. So once again, he is ruling the roost here in PSP Group A. Down towards the last couple of corners, you're right on board here with Mason and Udick getting the best seat in the house. A couple of corners to go. They repeat this part of the course and then down through to the finish line. 45.556. That's the fastest run we've seen, with Blake Bryant still to come. This is the man that's caused all the surprises. He was quick right throughout the eliminations. He was quick off the trailer, in fact. And it's an amazing story. Blake wasn't at round number 1. They had a workshop fire and destroyed everything. This is an absolutely brand new combination. You're riding with them here, Blake Bryant and Kate Hugebrug, his navigator. And just look at the smooth work on the wheel from Blake Bryant. Second generation Jetsprint driver coming down towards the split point now. Let's see what it'll be. 29.057 for Sam Udick. 29.202, so he's there or thereabouts. He's really going to have to bring home the boat in a hiss and a roar now. Look at the way it just boats right down the centre of the course. Not too upset when it crosses at wake, which it does twice here at Bay Park. You ride with them as they work their way down to the NZ finish line. 45.219 for Blake Bryant and Katie Hugerbrug, so that means that they will go into the final three as the favourites. They have knocked off the crown of Sam Udick. Brilliant performance in this brand new combination. So there you see it. Blake Bryant on top from Sam Udick, the defending champion, and Tristan Hines, the local lad, will round out the three. Round one of the Biolytics 400s at the Shelter View Jetsprint track in Wanganui, it had been the Ross Travers show. He, along with son Shane in Radioactive, had been too good for the rest of the field, finishing first from Hayden Wilson and Chris Helsman. The ex-Speedway racer had got his season off to the best possible start. So it is the Travers family on top in the Biolytics 400s, from Wilson and Horsman in second place. This little hiccup in the qualifying rounds didn't hinder the two abreast team of Donna Thompson and Monica Cooper. They made history at Bay Park, making their first ever top three.
Getting up our confidence each race, and we're feeling really good out there. Decided to sort of give it more throttle than I usually do. Going around, and I just thought, oh, this is great, this is perfect, and just cut in a little bit too soon on that end corner and just flipped it, and yeah, over we went.
So if we have a look at the top five and into the top three, it is Travis and Travis from Ollie Silverton and the girls two abreast. So it is the girls going first. This is the final three of the Biolytics 400. Donna Thompson at the wheel, Monica Cooper calling the shots in the navigator's chair. 4 years they've been racing in the New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championship, and this is the first time they have ever made the final three. Two abreast is the boat. The girls are Angels of Mercy, both of them nurses in Wanganui. And what a dream run they've had, save for that little bit of a hiccup in the early going. Turning back, a couple of the more fancied combinations on their way to the three. Let's have a look at the split. 32.612 for Donna and Monica. Just getting a little bit untidy once again, as you see, as the boats cross their own wake, and certainly with having a little less power than the Group A boats, the Biolytics 400s, the introductory class of jet sprinting in New Zealand, just suffer a little bit. 56.13 for the girls. They set the benchmark in Biolytics 400s, and they're happy with that, and why wouldn't they be? They make the final for the first time. Maybe having problems in the early eliminations is the secret for you guys.
I think it just made us even more determined, just to get out there and prove that we can keep it in the water. But oh, we're so excited. We've been waiting 4 years for this.
So this is Ollie Silverton and Jeff Sisterton in PSP Suntough. This is part of the PSP team along with Sam Udick. They make up the PSP team that travels to all of the rounds here in the New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships. This is the Biolytics 400s. Ollie got his start as Sam's navigator back in the days when Sam was racing in the Jet Pro Lights, as they were called then. He's come a long way since then. This is his second season as the driver of this boat. Ollie Silverton, Jeff Sisterton, you see him just using the gesticulations just to show his driver the way home. 32.14 at the split, so up just a fraction on the girls. Oh, and they got very wide coming around that 180-degree turn there. That could have cost them a little bit of time. The secret is to boat down the centre of the course here. And have a look at the close-up shots here. Not too much of the boat left in the water. 49.801, so they do pip the girls. So they're ranked number one at the moment, with the Travers family show to come. And that is the radioactive boat of Ross and his son Shane Travers. They were unbeatable at Wanganui. Are they going to do the double here at Bay Park? They have been very, very quick right throughout the afternoon. They were the first into the 48s. That was in the top 12. Then they were in the 48s, solidly in the 8s as well. Continued with a 48.2 in the 5. Here we are in the 3. what can they do? Really, they've just got to keep it on the water, if you have a look at their previous results, to take this title. But we know that anything can happen, and certainly on a difficult rotation like this in front of a big crowd. 32 and change at the split, so they're there or thereabouts. They've got to bring it home quickly, though. Are they going to match their performance at Whanganui? Are they going to make it 2 for 2 in the Biolytics 400s here at Bay Park? Only one in the 48s and the 8, and they've smashed it. 47.627 in the final, so they do the double. Does Ross and Shane Travers in Radioactive. Mate, it was a super popular win at Whanganui. I think it was even more popular here.
Oh, what a night, what a day. Made big improvements during the week, or last few weeks. Obviously straightened the nose up again. Big thanks to my sponsors, Hebden Motorsport, Lincoln Sports and Social Club. The sponsor of our class for this event is Biolytics. It's been brilliant.
So it is the Travis and Travis show, continuing on from Whanganui to here in Bay Park. Ollie Silverton through in second, and in third place it is Bad Boys. So we're back to PSP Group A, and we're into the finals now. And Blake Bryant, the big surprise, he knocks off Sam Udick and Tristan Hines in third place. Hines the first to go in the final. Remember, the previous times mean absolutely nothing now. Tristan Hines and Matthew Fagan. Second season in the Group A Championships. And as I said before, they've been fast, but they need to go a whole lot quicker yet if they're going to match the pace of Sam Udick and Glenn Mason, and then the extreme pace of Blake Bryant and Kate Hugerbrug. Have a look for the split time. Needs to be around about the 30-second mark, I would think, or 29 to be there or thereabout for Tristan Hines and Matthew Jimmy Fagan. You ride with them here as they work their way about halfway through the course now, looking for a time. 30.987. That's their best run so far. So they're on target for another 40-second, 48-second, low 48, high 49 clocking. Will that be good enough to make it through? I don't know that it will. I don't think they'll get to stand on the top step of the podium. They work their way down with one corner to come here at Bay Park. Fagan getting anxious. 48.113, their best run, but is it going to be good enough? Because the likes of Bryant and Udick have been significantly quicker than the 48.113 of Tristan Hines. So the time to beat is the 48.113. This is Blake Bryant and Katie Hugerbrug. This brand new combination, this brand new boat engine combination. Brian Kelly doing the engine work for Blake Bryant this season. You heard their tale of woe, a workshop fire destroyed everything. They've got a brand new boat and they are ready to do battle. The big sadness was they weren't ready for round one because they have absolutely taken it to the defending champion, Sam Udick. Looking for a split time, needs to be in the 28s or the low 29s. 29.111 for Blake Bryant. Maybe a little bit of a hiccup as he just jumped his own weight there for the first of two times here at Bay Park. You're on board with this new combination. Blake Bryant's got jet sprinting in his blood. His father is Peter. His uncle is Rex. Both competing with distinction for New Zealand. 45.311. So he goes just a little bit slower than what we saw in the 5. What a fantastic final.
Yeah, brilliant, all right. I'm absolutely wrapped with the outcome. You know, tonight really I thought if we could keep Sam at least honest, he's been handing out a few spankings and he's really the benchmark in our class. I think we've got a few little engine issues that we fine-tuning things, but all in all tonight was an absolute success, and we'll be back tomorrow and bring it on Sam Udick.
Well, there is nothing like a bit of drama here at Bay Park because Sam Udick and Glenn Mason have been very late to get down to the start area. They pulled the boat out on the truck and then they put it back into the pits, a last-minute mechanical issue. But they're here and ready to go now. Can they beat the 45.311 of Blake Bryant? We're about to see. We take Spade Cam as they work their way down the NZ start chute. Sam Udick and Glenn Mason. Mason, of course, has a connection with Blake Bryant because he works with his uncle Rex, and for years and years and years, Rex and Glenn were the combination to beat in Group A. 4 national championships tells you that. This man, though, is a national champion. This is Sam Udick. The boat is PSP Suntough Clearview. They have been in the 28s at the split. If they can do it again, it might be good night nurse for Blake Bryant. We'll see what happens. 29.057. They're slightly up on Bryant, but they are down on their previous time. And once again, you see the boat just get a little bit untidy as it crosses its own wake here at Bay Park Stadium. Sam Udick looking to make it 2 for 2 in the PSP Group A Championship. He's got to turn back the 45.311, and he's done it. 45.262 for Sam Udick. When the chips are down, he always seems to be able to pull something out, and he's done it here at Bay Park. Sam Udick wins the PSP Group A Championship round number 2. 2 national rounds in a row, this time a little bit closer with Blake Bryant.
Yeah, he snuck up on me with a brand new package. You know, he's come out hard and charging hard, and you know, we can only see what he can bring in the next few rounds. So it's definitely he's got our backs up against the wall, and we're obviously going to try and develop and get faster as well.
So Sam Udick gets to do the victory lap here at Bay Park. He wins in Suntough Group A, and he continues his dominance in the championship as well. Sam Udick, that 45.202, too good for Blake Bryant. In the point situation, Udick gets the perfect start to his season. He's 2 for 2. That's why he's 3 points ahead of loose unit 2, Hines and Fagan.